Welcome to the Way We See It podcast.
where we talk about politics, social justice, and culture.
I'm Tati,
And I'm Ariana.
and we are your host of this podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 29.
Week 9.
Yeah.
Even though I said that in next week's episode, but it's actually week 10 for next week's episode. You guys will get it when you listen to next week's episode. But
Yes, it's the day after Tati's birthday. It's today's March 27. Yesterday was March 26, Tati's birthday. She is officially 20 years old. Go shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. What? Instagram, you're not ready for the pictures you're gonna put up on the gram next week. You're not
yo,
ready.
Ariana knows I've been giving her extreme detail about these pictures that are gonna come everybody's way. Let's see, because I don't even think I'm ready. I know my mom isn't even gonna be ready to take those pictures. Sheesh.
My edge is gonna be snatched when I see them pictures.
Bro. But yeah, guys, I'm 20 now. I don't even know how I feel, but the haircut I got yesterday definitely makes me feel like I'm not a teenager anymore, even though my face says otherwise. But thank you for coming back to our podcast and listening. Don't forget to check out our socials on Instagram and Twitter at The Way We See It, TheWayWCit with a C. And make sure you check out our website also, where we have our current events, our blogs, our resources, and everything. And if you want to tell us any topics that you want us to do in the future, you can always DM us on our socials or through our website. So, yeah.
Yes, and lastly, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and do all that.
Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you get notified when we have a new episode out.
Yeah.
So, this week's topic, we are basically continuing um, our Women's History Month for the most part. It's basically a part 2, like we said we were going to do. If you guys didn't hear that, make sure you go and listen to it. Um, and we just wanted to discuss this again a little bit more of depth, but not too much, just in case we do an extra episode, like for each of these like subtopics, so we can just help create awareness, and yeah, basically what I said, just go into a little bit more depth, and um, yeah, so we're basically gonna just be talking about like pink tax, gender roles. I think I saved the gender roles for a separate thing, so I don't think it's in this episode anymore. But and then yeah, just some things that are being done now to help women with these issues. And yeah, we will also be placing some petitions on our website. So make sure you go check it out there so you know how you can help.
Yeah. So like our first episode was basically like what is History Month, how it started, and like the whole movement basically.
Mhm.
And then this episode we're just bringing awareness of social issues that women have to experience
Yeah.
in society basically is what we're trying to bring awareness so people know what's going on and they know what to do.
Yeah. So, you want to say the first one, or you want me to do the first one?
Yeah, I can do the first one. So first we'll be talking about pink tax. We spoke about this very briefly in the first season. I'm about to say a couple episodes ago.
We
So
talked
pink
about it in the
tax,
first season too.
no, just the first season. We had like I think it was like a current event about pink tax
Oh,
that we did.
okay.
Um, yeah, so for those that don't know, pink tax first became a thing in the 1990s in California when a study was done that helped them notice the difference in prices, which shows discrimination against genders. Later on, California passed the Gender Tax Repeal Act in 1995, which states no businesses, establishment of any kind whatsoever may discriminate with respect to the price charged for services of similar or like kind against a person because of the person's gender. According to Investopedia, pink tax is the price discrepancy that calls out products and services marketed to women that cost more than identical or nearly identical marketed to men. Pink tax can also be described as the extra amount of money women pay for everyday products like razors, shampoos, haircuts, clothes, dry cleaning, etc. This tax applies to items that span a woman's entire life, from girls' toys to school uniforms to canes, braces, adult diapers, the list goes on. And you can even like try look go into your local store like Target or like yeah, Walmart, and you can see the different prices for like men and women. Like I know for a fact like the women's razors cost so much more than the men razors.
That's the one thing I've always noticed.
Yeah.
Always
Mhm.
razors.
Yeah, and yeah, so you can go check out your local store and like see the differences in prices that's geared toward like women versus men, and how women have to spend $8 or even a few cents more on similar products. Like yeah, maybe it may be like some products maybe $1 difference or a cents difference, but it adds up because we have to buy these things to, for hygiene purposes. So or like even like sanitary napkins and all that, like that's something that we have to buy until we hit menopause, I guess. And in addition to that, it's a known fact that because of pink tax, a woman will roughly spend $2,135 per year. Sheesh. Um, and also, according to AX, thepinktax.com, the pink tax has cost a 20-year-old, 30-year-old woman more than $40,000. A woman in her 60s will cough up nearly $82,000 in fees that men don't have to pay. And right now, there's currently no federal law prohibits that companies from charging different prices for identical items based on gender. Like for the razors, they just change the color. The women razors, they be pink, and then the men razors, they be like blue or like black.
Literally. What if you're a guy, you want a pink razor? What if that's their favorite color, you know? Uh Unbelievable, I tell you. Anyways, here's like a decent good thing, but for New Yorkers. So yeah, like we said, just check your local store and see if there's any differences, because chances that there are, if your state may because your state may have or may have not passed any bills that prevent pink tax from happening. So at least for New York, I don't know if any of our listeners out there are outside of New York, but if you are from New York, like us, on September 30th, 2020, which I think is the current event you were talking about then, Adi,
Wait, was it?
Cuomo, you said it wasn't?
Yeah, it probably was. I think
Oh,
so.
okay. So Cuomo put into effect the pink tax ban. So according to the official NY.gov website, Governor Andrew M. Cuomo announced that the new reforms go into effect prohibiting businesses from charging a pink tax, otherwise known as the practice of charging different prices for substantially similar consumer goods or services that are marketed to different genders. Basically, what we just said. And that the new measure requires certain service providers to provide price lists for standard services upon request and notifies them that gender based price discrimination is prohibited under state law. Businesses that violate the law will be subject to civil penalties. Period.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
not bad, actually. So then, if I'm getting a razor from,
Target or whatever.
yeah, Target, and they are, doing 5 cents less than the men's razors for the women, I'm gonna call the police on them. And they're gonna
Yeah.
have a case on their hands.
Actually, next time I go to the store, I'm gonna like check that.
I'm gonna go to Rite Aid,
After,
check that too myself.
yeah, I'm gonna check. When I go to Walmart. I'll do my Walmart run because I haven't checked.
Of that, I actually should have went to Rite Aid before earlier. I have a 6 a.m. flight. I need a razor. Anyways, the next one, the gender wage gap.
Yes. So what is the gender wage gap? So it's the difference in earnings between men and women. I know for me, like I know there's more than two genders in the world, but specifically we're talking about men and women in this case. In the
Mm-hmm.
U.S., women earn 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. This calculation is the ratio of median annual earnings for women working full time year round to those of their male counterparts. And also, the wage gap is even large for women of color. And in 2018, um, the median earnings of full time year round workers by race/ethnicity and sex. So this was in back in 2018. It was a study done. White women earned 0.97 0.79 cents compared to the white men that made a dollar. Black women made 62 cents. Um, Hispanic or Latinx women 54 cents. Asian women 90 cents, and American Indian or Alaska Native 57 cents. So as you can see, if there's differences in earnings between race and ethnicities. Um, so yeah, and that just shows how race and gender and ethnicity all intersect, and differences in. So what causes the gender wage gap? So first is differences in industries or jobs worked. Um, like as a society, like most of us internalize like gender roles, and certain jobs are fueled to certain genders, like, oh, women should be teachers, they should be caregivers, men should be hands-on. Like that's like fueled to us ever since when we were in pre-K, with the books we read, with the cartoons we watch. Like that's all fueled into us. So like women jobs, like such as home health aides, childcare workers, tend to offer lower pay and fewer benefits than men jobs like building and construction. Also, differences in years of experiences and differences in hours works. So women are more likely to work less hours because they have less years of experience, because they have to spend time taking care of their children and do other unpaid obligations, cook, clean, like, being stereotypical. And then also discrimination that women have to experience in the workplace or even finding employment. So although the gender-based discrimination has been illegal since 1963, it is unfortunately still practiced, especially for women of color. So yeah, any thoughts about the gender wage gap?
That is the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
And we actually made a post about this on our Instagram story for the way we see it. And it's just straight facts. Like, and then people are like, oh, women just need to work harder. Why do we need to work harder? Because even half the women that do work super hard to get that pay, get masters, PhDs, they'll still make less than the man that's in the same exact field as them.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand.
And like even though like there's policies that you can't discriminate based on gender, like it still happens. They
Where?
just find a little thing to like get away with. Like there's holes. When these people have power, they know who to pay to get things done, basically.
Yeah, I was literally with my friend the other day, and it was I had seen our post about the gender wage gap, and then an additional thing about another mass shooting that happened in Colorado, which I believe is in our current events for this week. And I was explaining, I was like, this stuff gets me so upset, and they were like, yeah, but that's life. And it was just like, but why does that have to be life? Like, why is that so normalized? And it's just so like it doesn't have to be like that. Like, why do we have to think that this is the best that humanity can do?
Hmm.
And that's the same that I feel for when it comes to women's rights and all other issues that we discuss within our podcast, because like we can do better, and people will really just walk by you. We need to be good Samaritans.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next one being maternity leave and caregiving. Maternity leave laws in New York. If you are in New York, if you're a New York resident and are a new parent, you are entitled to be part of your normal compensation for missing work resulting from the birth of your child. There are two separate phases for new and expecting parents. There is maternity leave and paternity leave. So maternity leave, why is it so hard for me to say that?
Yeah, it's a little tricky word.
It feels like a bump. Maternity leave, there we go. This is the first phase and it's called short-term disability pregnancy. It provides new mothers short-term disability pregnancy insurance benefits as a result of the physical acts of childbirth. Some benefits include receiving a percentage of mother's regular pay and the employer guaranteeing the mother's position will be there and when the mother is ready to return back to work. And then under New York's temporary disability benefits law, expecting mothers can qualify for up to 26 weeks of paid short-term disability coverage. This means that New York new mothers are considered disabled for a period of time after childbirth and are entitled to short-term disability benefits if they are unable to work. That's good to know because I know once I become a teacher,
Yeah.
that's good to know because I
Mhm.
remember teachers growing up. I have a new teacher new to the school. It's like we were talking about this. I don't remember if we said
Yeah,
on
we
the
did.
podcast, but like it's like the new teachers always end up they come and then they go
Mhm.
just as fast because they get pregnant within their first few years of teaching, and they be gone. Sometimes they take a week or two off because
Mhm.
I guess that's the pregnancy
Yeah.
symptoms kicking in and then next thing you know sometimes they're gone actually for 3-4 months and you don't see them until the next following year once they had the baby in the summer,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, when
yeah.
I was like reading about the New York laws, they said like it also could depend on the company you work with. So that had me thinking like when I graduate next year, I really gotta ask the question like what's your like maternity leave policy?
Yeah, like
'Cause
that's
I
that
really gotta ask that question. It's crazy.
yeah, I was about to say like because the job could have meet all your marks and everything that you need, but then it could be like little do you know it's a great job and then you get pregnant and they're like listen you're not getting paid, you're if
Yeah.
you leave your job's not going to be here. About to have
Yeah.
me in the office with my big 9-month belly, giving labor, going into labor in my office seat. Like what? So then yeah, the next one is parental leave. This is the second phase. What is it? Time off for caregivers to stay home and enjoy time with their newborn. Bendito. And eligible employees have the right to take up to 12 weeks, which is 3 months off of work in 1 year period for pregnancy and paternity leave. Under New York's paid family leave law, caregivers are entitled to receive 67% of their average weekly wage with a maximum weekly benefit of $971.61. Wow. Okay. Caregivers can qualify for this benefit within the first 12 months after the child's birth. Oh, wow. That's a whole year. This benefit also includes families who adopt newborns. Wow.
Yeah. I read
No.
that and I was like, yeah. And also to clarify, when I read about the 12 months, I was like, wait, they could take a whole year. No, they can only take 12 weeks off, but they can claim a paternity leave within the first 12 months of the after the child is born. Just to clarify, it's not a whole year off, but
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I knew that part.
Okay.
It's just that last claiming part, like it
Yeah.
the claiming part is the 900 something dollars. You
Yeah.
can claim that up to a year. Your child could be a whole year old, and you be like the day before they make a year, press enter and get that claim, baby. Good to know. Wow, the rights that we have. Um,
Yes, and now just to compare of how other countries have their policies about maternity and parental leave. It's very different than the New York laws we just stated, and very different from the other states in the United States.
yeah.
So in Sweden, new caregivers in Sweden are entitled up to 480 days of leave at 80% of their normal pay. And fathers are also entitled up to 90 days of the 148 days of paid maternity leave. Also in Norway, mothers can take up to 49 weeks at full pay or 59 weeks. Yeah, that's like a whole year, 59 weeks, almost a whole, well, a little over a year.
That's lit.
At 80% pay. And fathers can take up to like 0 or 10 weeks off of paid leave. And then caregivers together can receive an additional 40 weeks at full pay or 56 weeks at 80% of their income.
That sounds like the original quarantine, but with a
Mm.
newborn baby.
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard like a bunch of times that the maternity leave policies in other countries, like besides the US, like has better policies. Because
Everything out the US is better.
yeah, the countries outside the US like, handle COVID way better than us.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy now that I think about it? Growing up, I heard a lot about all the countries outside the US being third world countries and not having a lot. I'm like, now growing up, I'm like, they seem to have a lot of things going for them, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
They
And
they know what they're doing.
their technology is more advanced, their education is more advanced. They seem to be more for women in these cases right here,
Mm-hmm.
even though they do have their bad things also. But
Yeah.
in this case,
Mm-hmm.
But damn. And so then now that basically concludes our subtopics of like what we just wanted to create a little bit more awareness of for Women's History Month. And now what can be done now to like help these issues, what can you do to help these issues. So that includes that oh wait, no, I lied. What is being done right now to help these issues from the public? So there are thousands of people, organizations, and other groups out there advocating for women however they can. An example of what some of these groups goals are can be seen with now. It's an organization which stands for the National Organization for Women. Their goal, and you can check this on their website, is to take action through intersectional grassroots activism to promote feminist ideals, lead societal change, eliminate eliminate discrimination, and achieve and protect the equal rights of all women and girls in all aspects of social, political, and economic life. That seems so nice, right? So nicely written.
Yeah.
Along with this, there's also the annual Women's March that usually takes place in March, basically. But since COVID last March, they weren't able to do it last year or this year. But basically, the march is so big that thousands of people, both men, women, and others, however you identify, attend it. And before COVID hit, the march was rotating every year between New York and DC. But I think the year before COVID, I think they did it in both DC and New York. I forget. I just remember that from what I know, when I see the march and everything on social media, everybody's there.
Yeah. It'd
It's
be
popping.
packed.
The famous people be marching with everybody. There's this one woman that I love. She's an activist, but she's from my favorite show, which is One Tree Hill. If you guys watch One
Oh,
Tree Hill,
I seen like the couple episodes on the first season, but after that,
it's the girl Brooke.
I don't
Um,
remember. That was
Well, for those who know Brooke, she's a whole activist. Her name's Sophia Bush, and she's a full-on activist, feminist, and like she goes hard for everybody's rights, bro. Like, and I love her. And she was on at the last Women's March. I was like, I want to see her. And then they have people perform. They have people do speeches, and I want to go so bad.
yeah, maybe next year we can go.
We could go, yeah. We would like listen in the back of our poster, be like, listen to the way we see it to learn more about women's rights, promote the podcast, and then keep it pushing. You know, hey, listen, we can find some guests over there. Actually,
Yeah, like we can do like a live podcast.
like,
Like just ask like people in the march like why did you come from to the march? Like, you know?
oh my god, that would be perfect. That could be a whole week's
And
episode,
we
just
can meet
us,
like mad people.
bro. Literally, just have my iPhone recording us in HD. Have our snowball mics. Be like, why did you come to protest to this march? Who are you excited to see? Huh, Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus. Miley Cyrus was at the last one too, I think, and she
Yeah.
sang. It was actually really nice. But yeah, I've been trying to go to the Women's March since I found out about it when I was a junior. Amazing. And so yeah, adding on to this, what can you do to help fight for women's rights? You can basically challenge events, start fundraisers to raise money for certain issues regarding women, share your knowledge with others, speak up for other women, and sign petitions. And there's other things too that we'll get in depth with over time, but just help women however you can.
Mhm.
And if you're a listener and you're a woman, yeah, a woman, yeah,
Yeah,
woman. I'm used to saying plural. And you're a woman, um, don't ever think less of yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to, and that is because you are a woman. So that's the mindset I try to keep in everything, that if I want it, I can get it because I am a woman. And even though I may hit some bumps in the road, like when driving, it's just an obstacle that's going to make me stronger for once I achieve that goal and can be like, look, I did that. And there's women all over the world that are achieving things from younger ages, making history. And who knows, maybe you can do that too, even if it's in just your small town, or in your school, or within your group of friends. Always speak up and speak your mind. That's what I said.
that's on period.
Yeah, I should
Tati
get
was
that on a
just
shirt. My whole
speaking facts right there. That touched me right there. I felt I felt it.
Yo, I'm ready to get a call from Spectrum News and be like, "We'd love to have you on the news in the morning." And I'd be like, "Thanks, I'll be there." Come with the podcast snowball. But yeah, guys, so that basically concludes um our episode this week. And then next week we have a free talk, which is pretty hectic because I'm eating McDonald's.
We were
They got
just
my order wrong.
talking about whatever.
Literally, I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about so much. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, so check that out a week from now.
Yes. And yeah, guys, we're gonna get into the current events now. So let's go.
Yes, so our first current event is about the mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado. On March 22nd, a mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado killed 10 people in a supermarket. The youngest victim was 20 years old, and the oldest victim was 65 years old. This incident makes it the seventh US mass shooting so far in 2021. The police have identified a 20-year-old man named Ahmad Al Alawi Alyssa as the suspect who killed the 10 people, and currently he is in custody. Investigators have not identified the motive of the mass shooting, but Ahmad's family has stated that Ahmad was suffering from a mental illness. Um, we're gonna have a moment in silence, but I don't know if Tati has any thoughts about this incident before we get into that.
I was so tight when I heard that because I was just like, bro, we literally just had a guy the other day kill 8 people, a hate crime, attack six six Asian women, the others not being of Asian descent, but still like
Yeah.
attacking people because of what? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the actual reason? Because he had a deacon bad day. Now this one a mental illness. Like that's why I say do better. And that's why I get frustrated too when people like it's one of those things where for a second it does discourage me in a way of when we're like no why like when people are like oh why do you even fight for that, like the world's never going to change. I'm like listen, people probably thought the same thing about women even being able to vote,
Mm-hmm.
all of us even be considered human beings and people to the world. And look, now we are,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take some time, but like, damn, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying like again too many times, but
The
it's just
crazy
so
part,
frustrating.
because I was just reading an article about this event, and like ever since March 16, which is the shooting in Atlanta, the guy that shot the six Asian women and the other people, there's been like a mass shooting in the U.S. like almost every single day after that. So this marked the seventh one, the one in Boulder, Colorado. So I don't know, like this is why I'm for like stricter gun laws. I don't know, I don't understand why every state has different gun laws because you could just fly down to Florida and it's easier to get a gun there compared to other states. And yeah, we just need stricter gun laws, and that's why like mass shootings has been a problem. in the US for a long time. And like
Yeah,
every year there's always like a horrible shooting, like Parkland, the shooting in the club in Florida, I forgot the
yeah.
Post.
That was the gay club.
Um Columbine, which is like that was a little while ago though, but there's just this Sandy Hook. The list goes on.
Yeah.
The list goes on of how many mass shootings have occurred in the US.
It's just so frustrating to see because like this is the world we live in where we can't even go a day without people killing other people, you know? And not for any particular reason besides that they just think they shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
No, it's not one of those things where it's like wrong place, wrong time. No, it's because this person literally woke up that day and said, I'm gonna take my guns and kill people because I don't like them. You know what? Whoever gets caught in the crossfire gets caught in the crossfire. Like, you know? And it's just so sad to see. It literally breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So angry.
Yeah. I was looking like at the pictures of the victims and I was like, damn.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like, at this time, we would like to have a moment of silence for the lives lost in this incident. And we send our condolences to the families of the victims during this time. So right now we'll have a moment of silence.
Going on to the next current event, which I just read over when you started that one. I got triggered. And then hearing that one made me even more triggered. So I'm ready to say this one. Yeah, ready? So Georgia passes a voter suppression bill. On Thursday, March 25th, the Georgia Senate passed a bill that would impose new laws to make it more difficult for voters to cast their ballot. What does the bill include? New identification requirements for absentee ballots, reduced voting on Sundays, gives the power to the state officials to take over the local election boards, limits the use of ballot drop boxes, a crime to give voters in-line food and water. The fudge. Senator Chuck Schumer states this bill is a racist plain. This is racist plain and simple. Period. In addition, legislators in 43 other states have introduced over 250 bills to create strict voting laws. In addition to this, did you want me to say that last one? The Republicans.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that part.
And in addition to this, Republicans are supposedly doing this for voting security. This is such this is
Deacon.
such we're gonna put an E next to this episode. This is such bullshit. You know why it is bullshit? Because first of all, you're not even gonna allow a food truck to help me stay in line longer, provide me food and water and everything because what? A red state turned blue? Like
Yeah.
because that's what I'm saying. Like Georgia this whole time was a red state. And then
Mhm.
now all of a sudden it turns a blue state and that's how I know the government is corrupt. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's the overall government that we have or the state governments that we have because every state, if you guys don't even know, they have their own little personal Supreme Court. And then if for whatever reason that Supreme Court doesn't go through, it'll go to the next Supreme Court, which is the actual Supreme Court. So, anyways, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what it is corrupt because there's no reason why they're limiting the use of ballot drop boxes on top of that. Then
Yeah.
taking away my food and water. Like, what
Reduce
is the reason
voting on
besides just trying
Sundays.
to limit my right to vote,
They
and be present?
reduce voting on Sundays when like that's the day that a lot of people have off. 'Cause they
Off
work Monday through Saturday.
the day of rest. It's my day of rest. I want to go vote. Let me go vote. Damn. Now we have business hours. Not even business hours. Just freaking this baloney.
Now the legislators that pushed us, they just mad that democracy won in the last presidential election.
Yeah,
And they,
because
yeah, go.
no, because believe it or not, half the people you see in the South, are fucking racist and they're for the old ways. And that's why me personally, I can't leave New York. I
Mm,
remember being younger, I was like, oh, I'm gonna run away. I hate New York. I'm gonna leave New York. No. Now growing older and seeing how the world really is and seeing how each specific state is,
yeah.
because listen, growing up I've seen every one of these 50 states do something different from the other that have made me been like, okay, yeah, I can't go there, can't go there. Like if I
Mhm.
go to one of these places, I'm either gonna get harassed, assaulted, kidnapped, freaking sex trafficked, which is the same thing
Yeah.
as kidnapped, get shot to death. Like I already know something's gonna happen to me, and that which I know could also possibly happen in New York, but I know that the laws here in New York are definitely stricter, and
Yes.
freaking everybody has your back. Like no one's literally gonna see you in the street. If it's a crowded street and they see something happen to you, majority of the time, at least from what I've seen, they got your back. Because I've been in the train too sometimes where I remember one time I was on a train, this girl was literally about to get, sorry for this, fingered by a stranger
Oh
on
my
the
God.
train, and she was yelling at him and she was like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And somebody literally moved the guy from her, and he was like, bro, what are you doing? She said, don't touch her, like what are you doing? He was like, she wants it, da da da. And it became a whole argument. That guy that had pushed him down, there was another lady that jumped in, and she was like saying, defending the girl. Another lady went to make sure the girl was okay. And that's what I'm saying, like
Yeah, there's good people out there, even New York. Even though some people think that we mean and stuff and we tough and we have no emotions, but
everybody's always calling out
there's
New
good
York.
people in New York. I swear.
Yeah. And then, sometimes, honestly, I definitely see New York. That's the thing. New York, we great, but some people are also followers. So if you see that one person standing up, other people are gonna follow. And it's like a whole domino effect also at the same time. So it works out in your favor. And like today, I was freaking walking around my area, and I live where the Russian mafia is. And being younger, I almost got kidnapped too many times by them. So I kept on looking over my shoulder. I was like, let them pull up on me. Let them pull up. But then I remembered I didn't have my pepper spray on me today. So I was really speeding up those
Use your
hills.
keys or something.
I didn't even have my keys, girl. So I was just like, damn, one of my nails are going to have to break then. And that's what it is. So yeah, just guys, it's just unbelievable what goes on in the world, in the US, outside the US, and it's just sad.
Yeah, we have one more current event. This is some good news. So New York is ready to legalize recreational marijuana, which is crazy to say because we just had like our marijuana like podcast series. So I think we sparked something. I don't know. Like,
Right? Saying that to my friends, they were like, "Oh, I don't like marijuana." Like I was talking to parents. That's why they were like, "I don't like marijuana." I was like, "Listen, if you want to learn a little thing about marijuana, listen to my podcast. We did 3 episodes about it. We did one just about regular marijuana, and then the other two about recreational and medical marijuana. So if you really want to change your opinion, listen to those. And then because the person I was speaking to, they didn't even know the difference between THC and CBD. And I
oh,
was like, that's exactly my point, because what you're talking about is THC. What
mhm.
they're talking about is CBD. So, and she was like, oh, I didn't know that. But still, like, doesn't it affect you the same way? I was like, no. One affects your mind, another one affects your body and your nervous system. Like trying to remember what Dr. Carpenter told me. I was
Yeah,
like, you want more details? Listen to her in the podcast.
yeah. She explained it very nice and
Yeah,
simple.
literally. But listen, now everybody in the city, you gotta be like,
Smoking that Zaza.
"Ooh, my dad."
Yes, on March 24th, Governor Andrew Cuomo listed recreational marijuana as his first priority for the upcoming New York State budget, which is due April 1st, so a couple days from now.
Oh,
With a
pause. I just wanted to say, sorry, Addie.
go go go.
Definitely want to say, I believe Cuomo, that man's definitely smokes weed. And
He
I
definitely
definitely
smoked
know
on.
he wanted to get this out the way. So if he's ever caught smoking weed, it's not a scandal. That's always been my controversial belief. My
Your
conspiracy
theory is
theory.
probably right. So yeah, within minutes, like Como made this announcement. about recreational marijuana as its first priority. Lawmakers stated that they had reached an agreement to legalize the sale of marijuana for recreational use by adults by next year. And the bill is expected to pass by next week. Next week by the state assembly and the Senate. And the bill states that adults who are 21 and older can purchase up to 3 ounces of marijuana. So yeah, I'm really happy about this law, but I want to like see the people in Rikers they're sitting there rotting because that
Yeah,
they say that Rikers is hell on earth. Get discharged for marijuana charges if they're gonna be passing this. So
yeah, for real. That's the next thing though. Hopefully that's the next step. We could definitely write a letter to Cuomo and be like, "Hey, sir. Actually, my friend, they actually live 2 weeks away from Cuomo's mansion, I believe.
mm,
Cuomo or De Blasio, one of their mansions, and then one of their apartment buildings. So, um, yeah, because there's a mansion that the governors move into when they become a governor.
mm.
So, I've seen that place, and then I know the building that they actually do live in because the police are always out there. So I could be like, do you think you could tell Cuomo or De Blasio, whoever it is that's in that building, that to release the people from Rikers, please and thank you. Do a little whisper in the ear.
I was like, yeah, I got you. I'll send that message.
And I'd be like, good looks. But yeah, guys, if I smoked, I'd definitely be outside right now. But I
No,
got
when that thing announced, like everybody was reposting that.
yeah. You know what's so funny? I actually saw somebody. Oh, she texted me. Sorry. I actually saw someone like that post. I was like, this person doesn't even smoke weed, but I was like, hey, get it? Like they hype too for everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's lit.
yeah. I'm hyped too, and I'm not a smoker, but I'm hyped.
But it's good that they are regulating it in a way too, where they say 21 and older, just like alcohol. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Hmm.
But yeah, guys, that concludes this week's episode. I have to go to St. Thomas, and I'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. But my flight leaves at 8 o'clock, so I'll be there by the afternoon. So catch me with the tan.
Yes, Tati's gonna come back different, and she's gonna share what happened on her trip.
Yeah, I'll put it on my blog.
All right, guys. Hope you liked this episode. It was a good one. It was good vibes. And yeah, peace out.
Bye.